Oh, this is disgusting. What is that? Is that rancid? Is that tap-dancing crab demon? Is that nightmare? Is that true nightmare?
We'd like to say that we don't own the rights to the characters that we parody, but it is parody, which means, according to the exact text of the law,
the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phono records, or by any other fucking means specified by that section, for purposes such as shit like criticism, comment, teaching, scholarship, or research. It's not a goddamn infringement of copyright. I guess what we're saying, we love you. Thanks for not suing us. Now let's commence the rock!
The date was August 10 in the year 2010 of the imperial calendar. The Holy Britannian Empire had just declared war upon Japan. Confronted by Britannia's newest weapon, the formidable nightmare frame, Japan fell to its enemy in less than a month. The conquered nation was stripped of its freedom, rights, culture, and dignity. Finally, even its name was taken away. 11. The name of Japan and its people was replaced with a mere number.
Until I met you, I was dead, an impotent corpse existing behind a false guise of life, a life in which I did nothing real. Day to day, I merely went through the motions of living, as if I were a zombie, and I always had the feeling that I was gradually dying. If I'm condemned to go back to that, then I'd rather—
Stop it! I see now. It's life without meaning. And a life like that.
Since that day, I've lived a lie. The lie of living. My name, too, was a lie. My personal history, a lie. Nothing but lies. I was sick to death of a world that couldn't be changed. But even in my lies, I refused to give up in despair.
Philosophically, Code Geass is about two boys attempting to regain their hope and outlook for the rest of their life by idealizing their vision of a new future. Lelouch Lamperouge attempts to paint himself as a miracle worker to rival the Emperor of Britannia. He does this in order to join other rebel-minded groups and nations to his cause. Suzaku Kurugi attempts to work within the system and moves up quickly through the ranks to attempt to gain enough power over the controlling state of Britannia to stop the atrocities. Lelouch Lamperouge, the one who wants to fight against Britannia, is really Lelouch v. Britannia, sent to Japan and forgotten by his father, the Holy Emperor. That's right, he is 11th in line to the imperial throne. Suzaku Kurugi's father was the Japanese Prime Minister, making him and his father Japanese. Suzaku is the one who joined Britannia, became an honorary Britannian, and is trying to stop the Japanese rebellion in order to gain Britannia's trust, in order to take back Japan.
I have fought to protect everything I thought I wanted to protect.
If you're going to achieve that end, you need to take action.
Yes, the means to that end requires me to reject something.
Which is?
That I reject you. And I reject everything you believe. You now want a world without change. How stagnant. You could hardly call it life. You both believe that this new world you envision will be best for all. But forcing your good intentions on others is no different from an evil act.
In time, the people will come to accept it.
That time will never come!
I told you before, Lelouch, that I was going to change this world from the inside.
Even if it means selling out your friends!
That's right.
So, by ratifying this charter, it will give birth to an alliance that will rival the Holy Britannian Empire. And its name shall be the United Federation of Nations!
Article 17 of the United States Charter. All all ratifying nations do now declare to abandon native military power forever.
Abandon military power?
Are they mad?
To guarantee security, member nations have agreed to employ a fighting force not affiliated with any one country. They have contracted the Black Knights.
We hereby accept.
The protagonist, Lelouch, as his alias Zero, creates a lot of chaos attempting to set the world right. He ends up making it a whole lot worse before, in the end, it starts to finally get any better. His conflict of his ability to stop and create chaos reflects Apollonian and Dionysian ideas. He is highly logical and creative in his thinking, which is why he is able to outthink the entire world alongside his Geass power of being able to command people to do anything he tells them to. He is also highly emotional because he is having to fight against his own family, since he is a Britannian himself, his own sister for whom he has done all of this to create a world for her, and his childhood best friend whom he and his sister grew up with. Lelouch shows extremes of being highly rational and highly irrational throughout the show, drawing on these two extremes.
We've no time for this right now!
R2, fire anchor. B7, use UN ordnance. N group, you'll continue your advance.
We just lost Laszlo's squad! So do it! We'll have to bring up Quincy's squad.
My lord, that will break the encirclement!
Now then, the enemy has 5 options. Their move.
Reinforce the breach with some of the units guarding me. All we know for certain is that enemy forces are here.
Who ordered them to break formation?
Well, that's a more stupid move than I expected.
Whereas before we saw examples of how Lelouch creates chaos to his own advantage, here are some examples of how the chaos causes him to behave highly irrationally.
Fired the flare? Could that be the weapon Suzaku was talking about? Nonale! Rolo.
Yeah?
Could you please let me speak with Nonale?
Well...
I can't reach Sayako.
Listen, we weren't in time. Nonale was caught in that flash of light.
I'm not asking you about anything like that now. I just want to talk to Nonale, that's all.
But... Nonale is dead! She's dead!
Don't lie to me! Please, Rolo. Could you just for a moment... Please... let me speak with Nonale. Odo. It's me.
Zero, we can't remain.
Have all forces land in Tokyo settlement. Search for Nonale.
Wait a minute! We've lost Asahina, and we have massive casualties!
You think I care about that? Find Nonale now! That's an order! All forces search for Nonale!
What's happened to Zero?
The way the world is going in Code Geass, there isn't anything one could rightly call a future, and so the two main characters, Lelouch v Britannia and Suzaku Kurugi, move to change it. Their idealism is pushed to the surface by this conflict, and this once isolated situation erupts into a worldwide war over philosophical ideas. Characters the show focuses on all go through a soul-searching journey. They all have an existentialist attitude and all are looking for happiness, purpose, and a brighter future. They come to the conclusion that a life doesn't have meaning without hope, without a future. Each person needs to feel as if they're creating their own future in order to believe there is a reason to live.
Why do people lie? It isn't only because they struggle against each other. It's also because there's something that they're seeking.
We both realized it back in C's world. We knew how humanity was longing for the future.
Answer this! Are you just going to sit back and wait for someone else to defeat Britannia? Who? You think if you wait long enough someday, the right chance will finally come? Don't be naive! If we don't stand up and do it ourselves, that someday will never come! I have a question for you, Lord Guilford. What do you do when there is an evil you cannot defeat by just means? Do you stain your hands with evil to destroy evil? Or do you remain steadfastly just and righteous even if it means surrendering to evil?
In either case, evil remains.
Suzaku, you have to kill me. You must promise.
You're going through with this, no matter what?
As planned, the hatred of the whole world is now focused directly upon me. And now the only thing that remains is to get rid of me and finally break the cycle of hatred. The legend of Zero isn't dead. It lives within the hearts of the Black Knights. With this, the world will gather not for an exchange of force, but for an exchange of open dialogue around one table. Mankind will be able to move forward into the future.
We knew how humanity was longing for the future.
Hey Suzaku, Geass power is similar to a wish, don't you think? It's a request to someone to give you the power to achieve what you can't on your own.
A wish? No.
Yes, and I'm going to grant a wish called Geass to all the people everywhere. For the future of the entire world. The only ones who should kill are those prepared to be killed. Suzaku, you're going to be a hero now. The Messiah who saved the world from Emperor Lelouch v. Britannia, the enemy of the world. As Zero.